It's time for a mid-month catch-up on animals and farm prep. So I've been working quite hard the past few days. So today I had a little bit of a lay-in and we're just having a bit of a chilled out day. I've done the morning routine, and so if you haven't seen what that involves, I will put a link up here and you can watch that video after. It just shows you how I go about my morning, how long it takes me and all the animals. But today we're just going to have a little bit of a catch up with all of the animals, what's going on, a few extra things that have happened, and a wander around the farm. As you can see, there's still some snow on the ground, and we had quite a lot of snow yesterday, but it's already melted off. But the pit is really flooded. So you can see here, and it's interesting to see because I don't think we've had any more rain than normal. So it's really interesting to see how flooded it is. It does mean my little mate, the muntjac, so there's a muntjac buck that always sits down there. He hasn't been there. I did see a doe a few weeks ago as well, so there's at least one buck and one doe. So I'm really hoping that come spring I will see a fawn, and I'm hoping even more that I might get it on camera to show you guys, because the muntjacs are the cutest little animals. Unfortunately, I found a young buck on the road this morning, hit by a car, had a broken leg, was dead. He's now in my car. I'm going to take him home for Sard, so Sard can pop it in the freezer and then taxidermy him in the future. Lovely little thing. But yeah, hopefully we'll have some live muntjacs here, and I'll be able to capture some fawns on camera later this year. It's a beautiful day, and I've got the goats out. Only 3 of them have realised, I think, that I've opened the gate. Hello. So they're having a nice nibble. What are you doing? Hi. I've extended their outside area a little bit. I had some, after I did the new sheep fencing, I had some hurdles left over that I could take out that I'd been using just to block spaces in the hedge. So I've added this little extra bit on the end, and of course over the next, oh, the light's really bright, over the next few weeks I'm actually going to fence this area entirely and give them a much bigger area to be in. So one thing that has happened is that our fencing contractor has finally started to come in and clear some of the perimeter. I have done that fencing on the sheep, but it's my first ever stock fencing. I'm not confident enough to do proper perimeter fencing, and my parents, as a gift for when we moved here, said that they would pay just to get some done. So it's coming at about £3,500, but they're putting in gates, they're doing all the clearing, of which they've done mostly, and they're putting in wildlife friendly stock fencing. So it's stock fencing that should stop sheep and goats and cows and stuff getting out, but the holes are big enough that smaller animals, especially little muntjacs and things, can get through. So they've cleared all down here, along here. They've cleared here. Now this is the area where I want to have my roadside market, so I am going to have to take down a couple of these, just because as you're driving along this way, it blocks the entire area. So I will take a couple of these down, and then it'll be here. I'm having a set of gates put in just here, and then you'll be able to pull in off the road. There'll be a gate block, and then our stand will be there. They've cleared all along here. So this was, you can see there's the tyre tracks. They've cleared all along here. And then they've cleared the whole way up the drive as well. I didn't want the fence to be ugly and on that side of the hedge, so I thought by putting it behind the hedge, we can still have some perimeter stock fencing and safeguarding against the animals and stuff getting out. but when you're coming up the drive, the hedge will still be there. So they've cleared all of this, which is pretty cool. Up here, I discovered, finally, where the stream goes. Here it is. So it comes down here. So this is actually all water runoff from our ditches. Comes down here, comes under here, and then goes there. And that's why all of the pit is filling up with water. Another little discovery, and you'll have seen this if you follow on Instagram, is when they were clearing this area, they found the old sheep dip. So I have vague memories of my granddad and a farmhand shoving sheep through this. And this was back in the old days. Instead of using like Crovect and things on sheep against blowfly, they used to just dip the entire sheep into kind of an anti-lice, anti-blowfly chemical solution. And so they'd run the sheep up in a race, they'd be dunked in that end, and then this end, I don't know if you can see, has little steps out. So they'd be thrown in this end, go under the water, and then they'd come up this end and up these steps, shake off, and run off back into the field. Thanks for joining me on this mid-month catch-up. Please, if you're enjoying the video, hit that thumbs up button, consider subscribing as it really helps. And then once you've got through all of the updates from the animals and the farm, feel free to catch up on some of our other videos. So over in the Pheasantry, it's got pretty muddy, as you can see. And that's literally just from me walking back and forth a few times a day. But in British winter, this very quickly happens. So you can see it's got super muddy all the way around here. I have had a massive tidy up though. This had become a bit of a dumping spot for stuff. So there was a massive pile of debris here. I've moved all the plants for now, they're just along here, awaiting to be planted out in the spring. There was also a massive bunch of stuff here that has been there for almost a year from when we very first moved up. And if you look up there a little bit, you can see there's something new, but we'll talk about that in another video. But it's been good to finally be able to organise everything. The other thing that's really nice, although it has been raining a lot, is our little stream. It's been lovely. And up here there's a little waterfall, and it just kind of potters along. And then if you look down, there's some signs of life as well. So the seed bank is starting to grow. There's quite a lot along here. We also put daffodils in here, we put crocuses in here. I'm going to transplant some snowdrops over here, so actually it should look quite nice. The pheasants are all doing really, really well. We did go ahead and we bought a couple of tarpaulins and we fixed them to the back just to give them, there we go, just to give them a bit more protection. There's one of our little hens. And I really like it. We're not keen on the look of it at the back, I'll show you, because it's silver and a bit gary. But what I think we're going to do is we're just going to buy some of that bamboo screening and tack it over the front. And it'll look nice there, but it'll also give them a little bit of protection. The other thing that's probably not so good is, if you remember, I got a trio of buff Nankins. They're one of the rarest bantams in the world. And we only have one left. So the first hen, I don't know, why are you hiding? We're trying to put you on camera. There we go. So I don't really know what happened. The first hen, I came in and she was paralysed. Her legs were just paralysed. She couldn't walk and she died within 2 or 3 days. And I thought, these are the first chickens that I've brought in for ages. And I thought, oh God, maybe it's Mareks. But then nothing else happened. Nobody was ill. About a month later, the cockerel went exactly the same way. Started to stumble around, started to lose the feeling in one leg, then the other leg. I took him home. He was completely paralysed in both legs. But he's still alive. I've had him at home for like 2 months. And I don't really know when to give up, because he went completely paralysed on 2 legs, couldn't do anything, and I was having to literally lift him and move him to food and water. But he's healthy in every other sense. There are no tumours on the outside or down by the feather tips, which is obviously another Marek sign. He's eating, he's drinking, he's bright-eyed, he makes a lot of noise. He doesn't crow anymore, but he kind of makes quite a lot of happy little noises. His feathers are growing, he still preens. If you watch my Instagram, you'll have seen that he did start to improve again. He's got the feeling back in his legs, and he was trying to stumble around about a week ago. He suddenly went downhill, and now he's coming back up again. So I don't know what's going on. So she ultimately is on her own. Today, I've just popped in another couple of chickens with her. They're slightly sacrificial, because if it is Marek's, then she could pass it. So before, if she's carrying it, then actually I need to probably get rid of her. So I've popped another couple of bantam hens in there as company for her, but also to see if they catch anything. So we'll see how we go. But fingers crossed, that rooster at home will improve. The chickens I put in here will be fine. And come spring, I'll never know what happened, but they'll be fine. So let's keep our fingers crossed. Meanwhile, this little lady, who is Liara, is due for babies in 10 days. I wasn't convinced whether she was pregnant, but today was the first day when she was hopping around, and I thought, actually, you're starting to look a little bit pregnant. I have been trying to breed Tally as well. Tally just doesn't want it. I've been putting her with the buck every single day. Nothing. Liara was grumpy when she was put with him, but he fell off 3 times, and she's so cute. Yeah, and as I say, she's looking pregnant. So again, another video coming up on that. In a week or so time, we'll see whether she has babies. I'm very excited. I hope she does. Don't we? We want to see your babies. Yes, we do. So this is one of my favourite Silkies that I bred last year, so in 2020. So she's almost a year old now. She's stayed fairly small, but I think her colour is just beautiful. So look out for a video coming up where we're going to go through the Silkie colour breeding lines that we're doing. I'm definitely going to be using this hen this year to try and breed this colour in as a dominant colour, because I think it's absolutely fabulous. I always think that not a lot is happening, and that it's not until I speak to you and kind of give you guys an update of what's going on that I realise that actually amongst all the projects that's going on, there's all the other stuff as well that's day to day. So pregnant bunnies and paralysed chickens and Silkie projects and ducks and goats, and there is quite a lot going on. So let's head over to the pasture. So we've done the pheasantry, we've done over where the ducks and the goats are. Let's go to the pasture and I'll give you a quick catch up on the sheep. So if you remember, we put in this brand new fencing for our ram pen. Our shearling ewe, so Connie Aka Consuela, is still over there. She's just happier with the boys. So I'm not going to risk putting her back into the main pasture until she's like heavily pregnant and doesn't want anything to do with the boys. I'm hoping once she's heavily pregnant, she'll be less likely to try and bust out, because she'll just feel a bit uncomfortable and want to sit down. So she's still over there. My ewe lambs are over here. So at the beginning of September, so what's that, 5-ish months ago, their pen was here, and so we're gradually rotating them around the field. Now I was using electric netting back then, and I had 2 sets of electric netting, and so I could set up one pen and put them in, and then I could set up the next pen and then move them across. And I used to do it that way. So they used to get a whole pen of fresh grass every day or every few days. Now I've had to switch them to the polywire. The polywire is not as easy to move, and I don't also have an entirely separate pen because I didn't buy enough posts. So what we're doing instead is every couple of days, because there's only 2 sheep in there, I'm just moving it across a little bit. So it's kind of like slowly creeping across the fields. So they're right in this corner at the moment. They've all been here. And again, this is our hill meadow. So it's on a hill, should be well drained, only 2 sheep up here, but you can still see there's standing water. That's how much it's been raining. Hello ladies. So here are the girls. Now I must say, they have had a couple of rendezvous with the ram by accident. So we'll see what happens. But as you can see, they've got quite a small area for the 2 of them, and what I do now is I shimmy this across. So I'll come in the morning and I'll take up this post here, for example, and I'll move it as far as this. So for example, today, that post there, that post there, this is all fresh today. I've shimmied it across. I'm going to shimmy it across, probably by the end of the week they'll be almost to the hedge, and then I'm going to start moving them back across the field. But it's actually been really good because this field is enough for them. I reckon by the time I get back to the very beginning, it will be past a year mark, which is really good because it means that the ground has time to recover. It really cuts down on the parasites because any worms they do have are going to drop into the soil, and then they're not going to be grazing this patch again for over a year, which means a lot of those parasites are going to be dead and gone. When I get the more sheep, this will, obviously I will have to make a bigger pen. At the moment there's just 2 ewe lambs in there. When my shearling, so Connie or Consuela, when she has lambs, she'll be back in here with her lambs, and then towards the end of this month, maybe next month, there may be some more sheep coming. And then in the summer, there may be some more sheep coming. So I will have to have a bigger area for them. And of course, that will mean that I'll have to move them more regularly and the field won't take as many rotations on it. But as soon as this field's been used loads, I'll move them to the other field, right over that hedge, which is an even bigger field than this actually. So I think it's working out quite well. And then as we're up here, let's go and have a little walk through the secret hedgerow corridor that I made, which has been used by more than people because I saw deer come through here. Here it is. I love it. It's like a little secret gateway. Again, you can see how waterlogged things have got. And then it takes you through to the wildflower meadow, which actually will start to look very pleasant over the next few months. So that's a bit of a mid-January catch-up. Don't forget to keep tuning in because obviously now, I didn't realise until this video, but we've got rabbit kits coming. I've got that Silkie video to show you. There's more infrastructure on the market garden that I need to show you as well. And I'll keep you up to date with the cockerel. Go onto Instagram and you'll see some of the posts about him in the past, but hopefully he will be great. I'm going to have a quick squelch around this field and check on the trees and make sure they haven't been too nibbled by deer, but I'll see you tomorrow for the next video.